Hi there, Alison here with another Cab Franc du jour. Today we are in the Pays Nantais of the Loire Valley and we're looking at the Domaine de l'Écu 2014 Mephisto Cab Franc. Now the Pays Nantais, of course, is best known for the white wines of Muscadet using Melon de Bourgogne. Today we're looking at Cab Franc on the same terroir. The Pays Nantais is in the westernmost part of the Loire Valley, and it is the closest to the Atlantic, so it has more of a maritime influence. But what really sets the region apart is the soils here. The soils are influenced by the Massif Armoricain and are of metamorphic origin. So in this case, we're referring to granite and gneiss. Now, comparing this to the rest of the Loire Valley, we tend to see more sedimentary soils there, like clay and limestone. Today's estate is Domaine de l'Écu, which was started in the mid-1970s by Guy Bossard. And Guy was a pioneer in the region in terms of terroir-specific bottlings, as well as organic and biodynamic viticulture. Today the estate is being run by Fred Niger, and Fred, of course, makes world-class Muscadet, but he also does a number of varietal bottlings of red wines from Pinot, Gamay, and of course Cab Franc. And the Mephisto is one of two Cab Franc wines that Fred makes from a 0.8 hectare parcel of Cab Franc vines that are planted on granite soils. Now, I should say as well that Fred takes a low interventionist approach in the cellar, so he's working with indigenous yeast and also low sulfur at bottling. And today's wine, the Mephisto, is vinified in stainless steel, and then it is aged actually for 15 months in amphora, which is kind of interesting. Now the nose is quite savory. I'm getting some tart red fruits, a little bit of tart black fruits, but it definitely leans more earthy and sort of savory in terms of the undertones. There's a nice, the pyrazines come through kind of in this like dried herbs. There's a little bit of mint here, some violets. And there is some tertiary development, so I'm getting a little bit of sort of leather on the nose as well. Those savory fruits come through nicely on the palate, and the acidity is quite tart, a little bit bracing. And the tannin structure is very fine with almost like a sort of chalkiness to the finish. And there's a really nice sort of salinity that I'm getting on the palate that I wasn't quite getting on the nose, which might be that kind of maritime influence coming in there. But what I think this wine is really about is sort of the play off of the acid and the structure of the tannins. There's a leanness to the wine. There's this sort of taut energy, and there's that sauvage kind of wild kind of edge to the wine, which is quite interesting. And it's really a departure from a lot of the Loire Valley Cab Francs that we're used to tasting. This wine is not about sort of fruitiness or fleshiness. This is really about structure. This is about energy, and it does have this sort of light finesse and delicacy that I love of Cab Franc, but it does so, and it communicates that in a very different way. This is the sort of wine that I think really needs food. It would benefit from sort of fattier dishes, like I'm thinking duck confit or even rabbit confit, but something more like kind of wild game, even actually like a slow roast of like wild boar or something like that, I think would be really delicious with a wine like this. Thank you all so much for watching, as always, and I will be back again soon with another wine. Cheers.